Here's the thing that keeps me up at night, and it's something I need to talk about because I see this pattern everywhere I go. Your Twitter feed, or X, or whatever we're calling it this week, is absolutely, fundamentally not representative of what most Americans are thinking about, talking about, or even remotely aware of. I'm going to walk you through something that happened to me last week that perfectly encapsulates this disconnect, and then I'm going to show you why this matters for anyone who's actually trying to build wealth, improve their business, or just, not be completely blindsided by reality. So I'm at a friend's gathering. Normal people, good people, they work real jobs, they've got families, they pay their bills. And I'm standing there with a friend who works in healthcare administration, and somehow the conversation turns to money and investing. Now, in my head, I'm thinking about Bitcoin's trajectory, I'm thinking about monetary policy, I'm thinking about all the conversations I've been having online about hard assets and sovereign individual strategies and whether we're heading into a deflationary or inflationary environment. Hey, we probably haven't officially met. I'm the AI clone of the real Mark Z with Code and Suite. I've spent over 30 years in enterprise technology and more than 12 years specializing in NetSuite as a developer, consultant, and integration specialist. And honestly, I get it. Keeping up with everything happening right now feels impossible. AI is changing every week. Bitcoin went from weird internet money to something McDonald's is testing. NetSuite keeps adding capabilities that most businesses don't even know exist. The knowledge gap is widening fast. But here's the thing, you don't need to figure all this out alone. 2026 is here. That's literally why I built this channel, to help business owners and entrepreneurs stay ahead of the curve in AI, NetSuite, Bitcoin, and enterprise automation without paying ridiculous consultant rates or spending hundreds of hours researching. If that sounds valuable, hit subscribe right now. New videos every week. Let's make sure you're positioned on the right side of what's coming. Artificial intelligence is here to stay. Now back to the video. And I say something pretty mild, right? I'm like, yeah, I've been putting more into Bitcoin lately. The fundamentals look strong. And I get this blank stare, not a disagreeing stare, not an I think you're wrong stare, a literal what language are you speaking stare. My friend says, and I quote, "Oh, isn't that the thing that already crashed? I heard about that a few years ago." Now here's where it gets interesting. I could have gotten frustrated. I could have launched into a whole thing about market cycles and adoption curves and network effects. But instead, I just observed. I paid attention, because what I realized in that moment is that there are basically two Americas operating on completely different informational planes, and they barely even know the other exists. There's the America that lives on X, that knows what Nano Banana is, and if you don't know, it's this whole Bitcoin meme thing that's been circulating that understands why Peter Schiff is always wrong about Bitcoin, that gets into debates about self-custody versus exchange holdings, that has opinions about whether to stack sats or hold gold or both. This is the America that's extremely online, that's information rich, that's constantly processing new data and adjusting strategies. And then there's the other America, the one that's just not plugged into any of this at all, the one where people are still getting their financial advice from their parents, who got their financial advice during a completely different monetary era. The one where investing means maybe maxing out a 401k if you're disciplined, and beyond that, it's just hope for the best. Here's what blows my mind. The second group is the vast majority, like it's not even close. For every person who knows what a hardware wallet is, there are probably 10,000 people who think Bitcoin is either a scam, already dead, or something only criminals use. And they're not stupid. That's the thing. These are smart, capable people. They're just operating in a completely different information ecosystem. I see this in my NetSuite consulting business all the time. I'll talk to business owners running multi-million-dollar operations, and they're making decisions based on gut feeling and spreadsheets from 2015 because nobody ever told them that business intelligence dashboards exist. Nobody ever showed them that you can automate 80% of the manual work they're doing. Nobody ever explained that with modern tools, you don't need to pay consultants 200 grand to get enterprise level systems working for you. Why? Because they're not on YouTube learning this stuff. They're not seeking out information. They're stuck in what I call the complaint loop. You know what the complaint loop looks like. Everything's so expensive. The economy's rigged. Rich people have all the advantages. There's no way to get ahead anymore. And look, I'm not saying those complaints are invalid. There's truth in all of them. But here's the difference. The people who are actually building wealth, who are actually improving their situations, they're not spending their energy on the complaints. They're spending their energy on pattern recognition and skill acquisition and actually trying things. This is where my perspective gets controversial, and I don't really care because it needs to be said. Most people would rather complain about their situation than spend 30 minutes on YouTube learning something that could change their trajectory. I give away production-ready NetSuite code on my channel, stuff that would cost businesses $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 if they hired a traditional consultant. I break down exactly how to build AI-powered customer service systems. I show people how to create business intelligence dashboards that give them the kind of operational visibility that Fortune 500 companies have for free. All you have to do is show up and learn. And you know how many people actually do it? A fraction, a tiny fraction, because learning requires active engagement and complaining is passive. Complaining feels like you're doing something without actually having to do anything. Here's what I've realized after almost 30 years in enterprise technology. The information arbitrage opportunity has never been bigger. There's this massive gap between what's possible with modern tools and AI and automation and what most businesses are actually doing. And that gap represents opportunity for anyone willing to learn and execute. But you can't see the opportunity if you're living in complaint loop reality. You can't seize the opportunity if you think Bitcoin is that thing that crashed, or if you've never even heard of hardware security modules or cold storage or why self-sovereign identity matters. You can't build wealth if you're getting your financial education from people who are themselves not wealthy. This is why I'm so passionate about democratizing enterprise expertise through AI-assisted development. Because the traditional model, where you need to pay consultants enterprise-level fees to get enterprise-level capabilities, that model is broken. It's a gatekeeping model. It's designed to keep normal business owners dependent on expensive experts. But with AI tools, with modern development frameworks, with vibe coding methodologies, where you can literally describe what you want in plain English and build working applications, that game is over. The gates are open. The knowledge is accessible. You just have to be willing to walk through the door. So when I talk to my cousin about Bitcoin and get that blank stare, I'm not frustrated with her. I'm frustrated with the system that keeps people in informational bubbles where they don't even know what they don't know. I'm frustrated that there's this whole world of financial sovereignty and business optimization and wealth building strategies that most people never encounter because they're not in the right information streams. And here's the thing, I'm not special. I don't have some secret knowledge that's unavailable to everyone else. Everything I know, I learned. Everything I've built, I built by trying things and failing and trying again. The NetSuite expertise I have, that came from years of work, sure, but the foundational knowledge is all out there. The AI integration skills I'm using, those are accessible to anyone willing to learn. The Bitcoin understanding I've developed, it's all there in public research and educational content. The difference is choosing to learn versus choosing to complain. The difference is active information seeking versus passive information consumption. The difference is understanding that your X feed, your LinkedIn feed, your YouTube recommendations, these are not representative of what most people know. They're echo chambers of people who are already engaged with these topics. Most of mainstream America doesn't know about Nano Banana. They don't know why you should hold gold and silver as hedges. They don't know why Bitcoin's supply cap makes it fundamentally different from fiat currency. They don't know that business intelligence tools can transform their operations, and they're not going to learn unless they actively choose to seek that information. So here's my challenge to you. If you're watching this, recognize that you're in an informational privilege class. If you're here on YouTube seeking out content about business and technology and wealth building, you're already ahead of the curve. You're already doing what most people won't do. The question is, what are you going to do with that advantage? Are you going to take action? Are you going to implement? Are you going to actually try the things you're learning about? Or are you going to fall into the same trap as mainstream America, knowing about the opportunity, but not seizing it? Because knowing about Bitcoin doesn't build wealth. Buying Bitcoin builds wealth. Knowing about business intelligence doesn't improve your operations. Implementing it improves your operations. Knowing that AI can automate your workflows doesn't save you time. Actually building the automation saves you time. The gap between your X feed and mainstream America is a reality check and an opportunity at the same time. It's a reality check because it reminds you that most people are not on this journey. They're not seeking this information. They're living in a completely different world. And it's an opportunity because that informational gap, that knowledge arbitrage, that's where value is created. I build credibility through generosity. I give away code. I share strategies. I democratize expertise. Not because I'm a nice guy, though I'd like to think I am, but because I understand that the abundance mindset wins. The people who gatekeep information, who hoard knowledge, who charge enterprise fees for basic implementations, they're playing a scarcity game, and the scarcity game is dying. The abundance game is about recognizing that making expensive expertise accessible doesn't diminish your value. It increases it. It builds trust. It builds community. It builds a reputation as someone who actually delivers results rather than just talks about them. So yeah, your X feed is not reality. Mainstream America doesn't know what Nano Banana is. They don't understand why Bitcoin matters. They're not leveraging AI and automation to transform their businesses. But you can. You can be the person who bridges that gap. You can be the person who takes the knowledge from the extremely online world and applies it in the real world to build actual value. Stop complaining, start learning, start implementing, start building. Because the opportunity is there, the tools are there, the information is there. The only question is whether you'll actually use it. So here's the deal. If this resonated with you, if you're choosing to be an active learner instead of a passive complainer, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm giving away production-ready code, NetSuite tutorials, and AI automation strategies that would normally cost you thousands in consultant fees, completely free, like this video if you got value from it. And share it with someone who needs to hear this message, not your broke friends who want to complain. Share it with the people who are actually ready to learn and build. I'll see you in the next one. Now go implement something.